The 6 to 7 Figure Show, episode 51. Let's hit it.
Broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun outside Phoenix, Arizona. This is the 6 to 7 Figure Show. Tired of working so hard and having no time? Take your six-figure practice and turn it to a thriving seven-figure enterprise. And now, your host, author, speaker, mentor, and strategist, Frank Bria.
Hey everyone, welcome to the 6 to 7 Figure Show. I'm your host, Frank Bria, and today we are going to have a special episode, a series of trainings that we are talking about, which are going to be the 12 critical projects that you need to execute in your business in order to hit 100K a month in your service business using a high-ticket program. There's a lot of focus that we spend on the design up front, but we are going to be focusing on one of those projects today. So we're going to cut over to training on one of those projects. And after the training's done, come back, hang with us, and I will give you a way for you to get a copy of some of this training for yourself. And we'll turn it over to there. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Monday. I know it's a little bit later in the day, but that's the way it goes around here when you got things going on. Welcome back to the 12 days of seven figures. This is day 5. We're going to be talking about Facebook groups, specifically Facebook groups for conversion into your high ticket program. So the purpose of this project, again, just a reminder, we're talking about 12 projects you need to execute in order to hit seven figures in your business, 100K a month. Not necessarily in the order that I'm talking about them in. Every business is a little bit different. You need to kind of look at the cash flow, the holes, see where the gaps are to know what one to do first. But I'm going to talk about all 12 in 12 days. This is number 5. So the purpose of this, of course, is this project is to launch, engage in, and leverage a Facebook group for high ticket program conversion. Okay. So you can use some of the same techniques I'm talking about in LinkedIn groups or other community groups, but honestly, Facebook has the traffic and the tools, the engagement tools for building and leveraging a group that are a lot better than some of the others. So you can do it, but I would just suggest that Facebook, assuming your audience is on Facebook, might be a better place to do that. All right. Step 1, we're going to set up the group. Okay. Now keep in mind that a free Facebook group for conversion is going to look a little bit different than a generic group or a Facebook group you might use for program delivery. Because the goal here is to get an ideal clients, get them acclimated to your system, develop some credibility, engage them to identify what their needs are, and then encourage them to sign up for a call. So to do that, you need a group that's aligned with your signature system or your proprietary process. So if you can, name your group after that signature system or proprietary process. That way, there's a really natural parallel between what you're going to teach and what the group is called. There's no question. So when you create a group, you're able to create questions that you'll be asking applicants as they ask to join your group. And I would highly recommend you leverage this feature in Facebook because this is a way for you to ask questions that are going to ensure that the people in the group meet your minimum requirements, that they're basically look like ideal clients. And it's a great way to collect information, to add people to your list or find good opportunities to basically invite people to sales conversations. So for example, like the 3 questions that we asked getting in the group, you probably don't remember, but 1, are you currently designing, launching, or executing a high-ticket program? So for that, that's pretty low barrier to entry in terms of ideal client type for this group. 2, are you looking for help in designing, launching, or executing a high-ticket program? And 3, would you like to have a copy of our 12-week core program black book? And if so, leave your email address here. So those are the 3 questions. Now, something that you'll note is these 3 questions really go through qualifying, sales, and getting into an email campaign. Okay, now you might need more questions. That's okay. If you have other things that you might want to ask that would qualify people But at least get that information. Now, one thing you should know is that when you approve a member in Facebook for a group, the answers to these questions disappear. So you'll need to either note these down somewhere in a spreadsheet or keep track of them or set up some kind of an automation process. Okay, otherwise you'll lose this information. Don't think you can approve it and get access to this later. All right, step 2, automate group membership. Now, at the beginning, it seems like this is not going to be a real big deal because you might just get 1 or 2 people in, every day, and that's no big deal. But I recommend that you find some kind of automation that will take that information, because it's really a hassle to collect that information off the screen, about group members into your email database. Okay, so you can do that manually with a VA, or you can use a product or some kind of automation tool. There's a product called Group Funnels that just came out. Groupfunnels.com is where you can find it, which seems to be, do the job. It's still a bit clunky, but at least gives you some way of automating data collection, so that when you have a lot of new group applicants, you can collect the information and store it somewhere. So regardless, if you automate it or don't automate it, make sure you would do at least 3 things. Okay. Number 1, make sure you look at the answers to the questions and curate the group. So don't just let anyone in. If they don't fit the criteria, just don't approve them. You don't want, more is not better here. You're not looking for numbers, because actually overly large Facebook groups don't get quite the engagement that small ones do. So keep it small and curated. Number 2, if someone says they want help, like if they answer that question, reach out to them immediately via Facebook Messenger or some other way to start the conversation. Okay. And don't just say, hey, saw you needed some help, let's jump on a call. Like, start an actual conversation. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. And then 3, if someone provides an email address, then make sure you copy and paste that or add it to the appropriate email sequence for your CRM or your email automation, marketing automation system. Okay. So that you can start the indoctrination process, begin communication with them. All right. All right. Step 3, engage. Of course, now this is the big one, right? This is the one that everyone stumbles on. So you need to create some kind of engagement in the group. And at the beginning, it's going to go slow, and you're just going to have to stick to it regardless of what you think is actually happening. But there's a number of ways to create engagement. I think daily engagement is best, or at least 3 times a week. But if it's less than that, people are just going to forget that the thing is there. So here's a few things you can do to create engagement. Number 1, motivate. Now, if you have a customer journey map, talk about it. Get specifics on the outcomes. Get clear about what it feels like to land there and what it means to take that journey and to get all the way to where you want to go. So spend some time motivating the audience. Oftentimes the people in the group haven't decided that doing the work to get the outcome is what they really want to do yet. So you're going to have to talk to them about that. You're going to have to motivate it. Okay. Number 2, teach. This one is sort of the obvious one, but talk about your proprietary process. Drill down into individual points. Spend some time focusing on how things get done and how you get the outcome. Outline the steps. Now, don't worry that you're kind of giving it away. That's not the issue here. Your high ticket program is more than just training. If you've done it right, it's more than just skill building. It's literally about getting results. And so you're not going to get that from just watching a Facebook Live. Okay. 3, qualify. Ask poll questions or discussion questions that get your potential buyers to basically raise their hand. Ask about issues that they're dealing with. Ask about what their priorities are. Ask what they're working on. Okay. This is a way for you to find out the people who need your help right now. 4, agitate. Now, this is one that I think is a lot of fun. Ask controversial questions. Okay, get discussions going, get debates going. This is a way, by agitating, this is a way that you make the pain clear to those people who aren't. You don't have to make enemies here. The goal is not to upset people, but you do have to change people's beliefs. The idea is they are not buying from you because they believe something faulty about their situation, assuming that they're an ideal client for you. So you're going to have to agitate the situation to push it in order to get them to change their belief. That's your job. And 5, celebrate. Welcome new people in. Talk about the wins that people are having or that other clients of yours are having. But most of all, and this is what's really critically important, tell people what's going on inside of your paid programs. Tell them the awesome stuff that's happening right now. Okay. Now, those are the 5 things you should focus on. You'll notice the one thing I didn't say, sell. Okay. Don't do that in group postings. It's not a good opportunity inside of a group to sell. People start tuning out because they don't want sales pitches. They want something that's of value. So don't do that in postings. You need to engage the audience, and consistency is the key. So make sure you're engaging on a daily basis for at least 2 weeks before you expect anything really magical to happen. You got to stick with it. Okay. All right. Step 4, convert. Now, this is the whole purpose of the project. Okay. So how do you convert a Facebook group if you don't actually post a call to action? By having real live personal conversations with people. Okay. Take opportunities for comments, questions, reactions, shares, everything as opportunities to engage in a real live conversation. Okay. Do this via Facebook Messenger if at all possible, because it allows you to engage in real time with people. And take these personal conversations sort of offline. Obviously, they're still online, but they're not in the group live. Okay. Don't just jump to let's get on a call. Ask questions, confirm their goals, do some pre-qualification work. This is how you make sure that these folks are actually ready when you finally have a sales call. Okay. In fact, you may not even need the application if you do your job right here. So when you've pre-qualified and you find out that this is someone whose goals do match outcomes you can create, then go ahead and jump in with an invitation for a call. All right, step 5, automate. This is a quick one because there's not much to say here. Once you got the process down, and that's important, make sure you get the process down first, then find ways to automate or get other people to do this. You don't want to be wasting your time with administrative tasks. So find a VA, or better yet, find a community manager to do this daily work. Have you or your sales staff stick with the personal conversations via Messenger, because that's fundamentally where the sales are going to come from. All right. Finally, the big question you probably are all asking, step 6, getting people to join. And this is where people say, how am I supposed to get someone in a Facebook group to begin with? Okay, there's a lot of different ways. I'm going to talk about 3 major ways that you can get people into your Facebook group. 1, make it part of your email sequence. You're already doing work to get people into some kind of an email sequence with a lead magnet or an opt-in. So go ahead and make that part of your funnel. There's a couple ways to do that. Some people like to invite people to join the Facebook group directly on the thank you page from the lead magnet. If you have a medium offer, a medium dollar figure offer, okay, less than say $5,000, then that's not a bad idea. Go ahead and make that the thank you page. If you have an offer that's greater than $5,000, it probably makes more monetary sense to try to encourage people to jump on a call as quickly as possible. So I would save the thank you page of your funnel for something else. We talked about that in the project on building a lead magnet funnel. So you can go back to that training and see what to do there. But either way, make it a part of your indoctrination sequence. So those first emails that go out, invite people to your Facebook group. Make sure that that's a separate call to action in and of itself. You can put it in PSs, you can do that kind of stuff. But if you make a case for why people should join the group, put that in a separate email and get people to take action on it. Okay. So that's the first thing I would suggest. The second thing is to leverage your Facebook group as a call to action in media. So podcast interviews, guest blog posts, LinkedIn articles, whatever you decide to do, mention your Facebook group make that the call to action. In my podcast, there's a lot of entrepreneurs who are now basically asking people to join their Facebook group rather than to go to some sort of opt-in page as a way to connect with them. So if that makes sense for your audience, then I would suggest you try that. Even if you have an opt-in, you might consider certain podcast audiences more optimal, I guess, than others. And if that's the case, then make sure you take an opportunity to invite them to your Facebook group. The third option is paid advertising. Now, here's a little bit of tricky stuff on paid ads to groups. Now, you can't in Facebook, you cannot run an ad directly to a group. So you have to build a landing page. That landing page should basically be a sales page for your Facebook group. Now, it doesn't have to be huge. A simple video with an explanation of the benefits of joining your group are sufficient. But something like that would be very useful if you are right now using paid ads. Use some of your budget to drive people into the Facebook group where you can engage with them in a more sort of natural way. So if you build that landing page and you build the ads that goes directly to that landing page, keep in mind you are going to lose some people on the conversion. That's just the way it goes with ads. But do the math, figure out what your cost per lead is, and run it backwards to see whether or not it makes sense financially to be running ads to your Facebook group. The only way you're going to know is if you test it. All right, so that's it. One thing I'll say is once you've started that Facebook group, just let everybody know about it. Let people know what's going on. Have exciting things happening inside the Facebook group, and let that be the place where you do those things rather than doing them on social media in general. That goes for, going live with long trainings, etc. Make your Facebook group that place. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for being with. Really appreciate it. And if this is a project you're working on, good luck on putting that Facebook group together and getting it launched. Well, I'll make sure that we link the training notes as a comment on this video. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, everyone, that's it for today. And two things that you want to do. Number one, if you have not had a chance to join our Facebook group, you need to be able to do that. This is really where we're going to be discussing a lot of this stuff in detail. You can actually, in the Facebook group, get written documentation of the project that we just discussed. So where you want to go to is facebook.com/groups/high ticket program. All together in one word, no breaks, no dashes, high ticket program. So facebook.com/groups/high ticket program. That link is below the video or in the show notes page. If you're out and about listening to audio, come on back to click on through and join. Absolutely free. Other thing that we want to offer you is called our 12-week high ticket program Black Book. This is over 60 pages of standard operating procedures for designing, launching, executing your high ticket program. The way you get that is you go to frankbria.com/blackbook. Again, the link is below here for you to grab that. High ticket program is our Facebook group. The Black Book is our free 60-page standard operating manual for how to run a group program. Go get that at frankbria.com/blackbook, and we will see you there. Thanks again so much for being with us today. We're going to have great content again coming up soon, so stick with us for our next episode, and we'll see you soon. All right, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.